I can't lie to you. I have thoroughly enjoyed learning more and more and more about my new favorite in real life Disney cartoon villain, Tiffany Henyard, because the more I find out about this woman, the more I think to myself, how did she convince people to vote for her in any capacity? Because she is terrible at her job and she keeps getting caught and caught and caught to the point where I just have to question if anybody voted for her or if she just walked in front of a bunch of people and said, I am your new leader. Of course, that's not how that went down. But as the dominoes continue to fall on the empire of irrelevancy for this woman, you start to think to yourself, when are the common folk, you and I, going to see this woman and say, we got to get rid of her, or we need to have more people look into her so that we could begin the process of this woman being kicked out and not having some backdoor way to get back in, because apparently that's what she did the last time she got voted out. Well, you'll be glad to know that that process has begun.
Village of Dalton trustees now calling for an investigation into Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
One of several big agenda items at a special board meeting held tonight. WGN's Courtney Spinelli has details from Dalton.
Dozens of residents showed up tonight for the special board meeting, but Mayor Tiffany Henyard and two of her close allies on the Board of Trustees did not. When community members heard that they would vote on a resolution for an investigation into Henyard, this is how they reacted. Dalton's Board of Trustees approving a resolution asking for an investigation by local and federal authorities into Henyard's actions as mayor.
We're asking the FBI, State's Attorney, Attorney General, and Cook County Sheriff's Office.
Senior trustee Jason House says the board has evidence Henyard misused village funds, credit cards, employees, and resources.
She has used the stamp of the village clerk's name on payments without the village clerk's authorization.
There are many things that have not surfaced and the public doesn't know yet. And if you think you're in shock now, just hold on.
Henyard is also accused of issuing checks without needed signatures and hiring employees and vendors without the board's needed advice and consent. House claims this has contributed to the $7 million in debt the village is in.
Has used police personnel for her own personal security detail, which has caused hundreds of thousands of dollars of overtime, millions, within the police department.
That's on top of the lavish trips allegedly on the taxpayers' dime to places like Las Vegas, WGN Investigates has reported on. House says the mayor refuses the Board of Trustees tasked with overseeing finances access to village financial records like bank and credit card statements, payroll records, and documents on the village's budget, tax revenue, and tax levy.
The last financial reporting that we received is September of 2023.
It's their job to watch the money. And so who is the mayor and her administration to take that right away from them?
Several longtime residents spoke with WGN ahead of the meeting Thursday, sharing their frustrations.
It's unnerving. It's like a kid with their first checking account, and they don't realize that they have to balance the books.
Someone has to come and save us. This woman is going to bankrupt our town.
Those who were there approving a resolution that calls for the village administrator and finance director to turn over all payments made by the village for any reason dating back to June 2021. If that doesn't happen within 14 days, the village administrator could be suspended or fired.
We are doing what is legal, what is right by the community, and we will continue to fight for you guys.
We're told the FBI has spoken with several people featured in previous WGN Investigates stories who claim they were victims of retaliation for not supporting Henyard.
I think the most interesting thing about this, and maybe I'm the only one who will be interested by this, is that the majority of the people who are co-signing all of this are black. Why is that an interesting thing to you, Leon? Well, if you don't remember, this woman got criticized by other black people and got on the podium to let you all know that you black and how dare you and how could you.
Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
So it's nice to see that more and more black people are realizing that they have a problem with their leader of their community and they want that person potentially investigated and gone, to say the least, because that's what happens when you are very poor at your job. You have the people turn against you, and maybe at one point they were supportive, they were all for it, and they wanted to see you lead them to the promised land. But as the months and potential years have gone on, you have done everything under the sun to not only embarrass them, but lose their trust to the point where they want you out of there.
Someone seen you go in there, and then 2 hours after your story airs, that police are at both of these establishments.
More controversy in South suburban Dalton. 2 popular bars shut down by police just hours after the owners talked to Fox 32. A village trustee also says it's because they're not financially supporting Dalton's mayor, Tiffany Henyard.
Here's Dean Plaka with the latest on the corruption investigation.
Is it coincidence or retaliation? Both of the Dalton bars that were raided and shut down last night, we visited the day before as part of our ongoing investigation into allegations of political corruption in Dalton.
They just rushed in here, put police at the front of the door like they was doing a raid on the drug house or something.
A team of Dalton police officers raided and shut down Pablo's Bar and Cafe and Rinky's Bar and Cafe, both located on Sibley, about a block apart.
Everything going peacefully. Nothing going on. It's like 10 police cars came in and they start pushing customers from here. And he said, if you don't leave, we're going to lock you up.
Employees and owners say it's part of an ongoing campaign of harassment by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard that is costing jobs and money. Their business licenses have been stripped by Dalton, but they've continued to operate with a state license.
I have like over 23 employees. They work from the local township. Now, end of the day, all the employees, they're going to lose their job.
It's ridiculous. We all have mouths to feed. We all have kids. They're not giving us no explanation.
On Monday, we visited both Rinky's and Pablo's to ask about allegations their licenses were being held up for political reasons. Then last evening, we broke the story that FBI agents have questioned at least a half dozen people, including business owners, a former Dalton employee, and an elected official as part of an investigation into Mayor Henyard. Less than 2 hours after our story aired, police raided the 2 bars.
Someone seen you go in there, and then 2 hours after your story airs, that police are at both of these establishments.
Dalton trustee Tammy Brown says she believes the raids are meant to send a warning to others not to talk. And she believes there's a reason so many Dalton businesses are having trouble getting their licenses renewed.
I'm sure that they were asked to make a donation, and most likely they didn't make a donation. So you don't get a chance to stay open if you don't pay the Queen's ransom.
Now, tomorrow evening, there will be a special public meeting of the trustees opposed to the mayor in which they plan to take action on the village's finances, getting access to Village Hall. They've been locked out and welcoming that investigation by federal agencies.
And honestly, as somebody who doesn't live in this county, in this community, and doesn't really speak to these people in any capacity, I want you fucking gone. Not for any other reason, but for you hiring a fucking predator to, for some fucking reason, go into people's houses. That alone should have got you kicked off of any committee in any capacity, because how could you think that that was a wise fucking thing to do? And yes, you could argue time has been served and it's time for change and time for people to live and have a chance to change. But why in the fuck do you think in your mind, your logic would sway with everybody else? Because everybody else will say, I'd rather go to jail instead of letting this motherfucker come into my house. But let me know, do you think this is the right course of action? Do you think she should be getting investigated? Do you think the people have turned on her unjustifiably? Or is it time for this bitch to get the fuck up out of there? Subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.